Hi, everyone. It is episode 7 of Motor City Chirps. Today is Tuesday, the 14th of June, 2022. Today we'll be talking about the Detroit Tigers. What the hell is going on with them as usual. We're going to bring up a little bit of the Stanley Cup Finals, which is starting tomorrow. And then we will finish up with the NBA Finals, and which could be over next game.
I did say Warriors in 6.
You did say Warriors in 6.
I figured I'd just put that out there. It's the only possibility so far. I don't like it, though. I like Boston in game 6. Carry on.
Yeah, so that's what we're going over today. And I've been infuriated with the Tigers. But I know Brendan, and to an extent, has too. But something very good happened to Brendan the other day. He was at the Tigers game. And why don't you go ahead and inform everyone what went on?
I mean, hard to explain because you can't really just, obviously there's a story behind everything, but something like this was just so random, but so cool that it's like, wow, I can't believe that happened. So went to the game Friday and Saturday, big surprise, big Tigers fan. That was my entire weekend for good and for bad. So went Friday with a bunch of buddies, kind of last minute. Me and my girlfriend went and, get to the game, having, some brewskis, enjoying ourselves. Tigers go down like 6-0. Like in the first 3 innings, it was just home run after home run after home run. Toronto's offense is stupid good. So it didn't help that the team in front of us, or the rows in front of us, was a little league team from Canada.
Oh yeah.
So there were a bunch of 9-year-olds that were the loudest in the section and happened to be cheering for the right team that was winning. So that was fun.
Could I just say real quick that was a lot of Blue Jays fans.
Dude, both days were crowded. Saturday, I understand because of the MLB debut, but I mean, still, it's just like
it makes a lot of sense because it's like the Canadians, it's kind of like the Maple Leafs in a fact that, which I thought it was more like Canadians are 100% in Ontario for the Maple Leafs in Windsor,
right?
And like barely any Red Wings fans. But I thought there would be still majority Tigers fans in Windsor. But it's tough because the teams are so opposite. The Blue Jays are great and the Tigers suck. So why would you want to go over the bridge to see it? But I mean, at the same time, there's a lot more Blue Jays fans than I thought in that area.
Well, I feel like there's a lot of just Toronto sports fans that live in Michigan too, that have family over in Canada. And plus too, with Windsor right across the border, I mean, other than hockey, because there's more Canadian teams than anything, but basketball and baseball, you have one team for your entire country. So, I mean, there's going to be fans everywhere. That's a quick 10-minute drive. I think even Kevin Gausman, he's pitcher for Toronto. He pitched on Saturday. I saw he tweeted, he's like, I didn't realize how close Canada was to Michigan. We're like, yeah, dude, we're like 10 minutes apart. Not even. Anyway, went to the game Friday. It was terrible. It was a blowout. Actual rain out too. It got delayed for like 30 minutes. So it was funny because all the girlfriends stood up on the concourse when it started sprinkling, and all us men were just sitting in the pouring rain, just soaking up some baseball. And then they brought the tarps out. So we're like, I guess we got to go up there too anyway. So we sat up there for like 30 minutes, took the tarps off, stopped raining the entire night. And so we're sitting, honestly, like catching up with the buddies, not really watching the game. It was like 7-0. So I was like, at this point, right?
This is a rough game.
So then all of a sudden, a camera guy walks down our section aisle, big Bally Sports shirt, massive TV camera. I'm like, oh, they must be doing something over here. And then here comes the former MVP himself, Kirk Gibson, walking down the aisle. I'm like, oh, that's Kirk Gibson. That's pretty cool, right? And so he gets down a little bit, walking past us, and my mutual friend Garrett and his girlfriend, they waved to him. They're like, "Hey, how you doing, Gibby?" Like, just waving. So then he just turns around, decides to sit right in front of us, like in our section, like in our row. And he's like, "Hey, like, you guys mind if like you want to do like a segment on TV?" We're like, "Yeah, sure." I mean, I don't know why I would say no.
Right.
And so he sat down and he had like a backpack of goodies. And he's like, "All right, just gonna ask a couple Tigers related questions." That's what he said. Tigers related questions.
Yeah.
And I think one of his questions was Tigers related. That was about it.
It was quite interesting.
It was a funny segment.
Yeah.
So, everybody, they're like, "All right, who wants to answer the first question?" And my girlfriend and all my friends were like, "Oh, this guy, ask him, he knows all the Tiger stuff," kind of thing. I'm like, now they're putting me on the spot.
Yeah, you're like,
so, yeah. So he sits down and roll in, and then he just goes, he turns to me and he looks at me and he goes, "How many more home runs has Miguel Cabrera hit? 300, 400, or 500? I'm like, okay. Thinking in the back of my head, didn't really think that much. I was like, he passed the 500 mark last year. Milestone.
Wait. The question he asked was how many more home runs?
Correct. So how many more home runs, like a number, does he have more than? Is
That's
it 300?
Such a weird wording.
Exactly. So that's how I'm going to explain myself.
Okay.
So naturally I go 500 because, he's at like 505, 507.
Right, he's
like
past
that.
500. Yeah.
Past 500.
Yeah.
He goes, "That's incorrect." And I'm like, I'm not going to correct Kirk Gibson. So I'm just going to shut my mouth. And he looks at me and he goes, "Ask the question back to me." Like I didn't understand it. So I'm like, "Yeah, so you asked how many more home runs does Miguel have, 300, 400, 500? And then my girlfriend over my shoulder goes, "He has more than all of them." And he goes, "Yeah, that's right." And I'm like, Kirk Gibson just hit me with a trick fucking question.
Wait.
Live on TV.
Wait. Okay. Explain it to me like I'm 4 years old because I am a moron. I still don't understand.
So the way he asked it was like, how many more home runs does Miguel have than this number? Does he have more than 300, 400, or 500? He asked it kind of a weird way, but that's how he meant to ask it. Like, does he have more than 300 home runs, 400 home runs, or 500? And I said, he has more than 500. But in reality, it was a trick question. He has more than all of them.
So it was basically an all of the above?
Correct. Without the all of the above. Exactly.
What are we doing here?
Exactly. So, thankfully my girlfriend, comes in. She's like, "All of them," steals the show. And he's like, "Yeah, that's correct." He goes, "That's 100% correct." And I'm like, "Nice." And I was just happy. I was like, "That's awesome."
But you weren't incorrect.
Correct.
You just weren't fully correct, I guess, but you didn't know that.
Exactly. So
he must watch the show and be pissed at us.
He goes, here's the prize. And he gives her a poster.
Oh yeah.
The coolest poster.
It's the best of all thing time ever.
And like it's kind of stinks because I saw throughout the rest of the weekend, he was kind of giving them the same ones away more and more throughout the concourse.
But still.
But I was, we were the first ones to get it.
Yeah.
So, we asked him to sign it after the whole segment was done. Cool. I'll pull up a picture, but
it'll be in the thumbnail too, so you'll be able to see it.
Yeah, we got it framed yesterday. Let's see. I can go grab it out of the other room too. It's an issue, but this is the screen cap from the Bally podcast or the Bally. So you see me,
Can I just say real quick that when you texted me, right? I remember you texted me and you said, "Bro, I was just on TV or something." I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
And then you sent me that, and I saw that, and it just because it was was that taken off of a TV or something? That picture?
Yes.
It looked weird, like the perspective and everything. Yeah. So I'm like, is he fucking with me? He looks photoshopped in there. Like something looks weird.
I got really good at Photoshop at American Park.
And then I saw Ryan and I was like, it's probably real. It's just strange looking because it was taken off the TV, but it was just funny. It was just something I thought was funny.
So we got Garrett, we got Joe, Jack, me, my girlfriend Ryan, and then the legendary Kirky Poo, Gibby boy. He was awesome, man. He was super nice.
Yeah.
He was just, hey, my buddy was helping him next to him, grab stuff off his bag for him. Super nice. He asked a couple more questions. He actually asked my buddy Joe. So he got the next question. And he said, when was the last time I got a haircut? That was the question.
Yeah, he was asking these questions.
Yeah, and so my buddy did, some smart remark. He was like, 1994. And he's like, oh, yeah, that's correct. Let's see what you get your prize. And he looks on this little list. He's like, oh, you get a plain baseball. And my buddy's like, oh, perfect. Just, he never gave it to him. He just totally forgot. So, he did 2 more questions, gave away the prizes, and then he left.
Oh, my God.
And then my buddy's like, I never got my baseball. Sorry, man.
Hey, that is what it is.
But it was an all-time moment. Yeah, it was.
That's great, man.
It was cool.
That is so
cool. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab the poster.
Okay.
Here it is in its beauty.
It's fucking magnificent.
Turn this off.
It's framed. It's
so my favorite part is the tiger in the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think that's so cool. And then he said he had to sign his belly button. So that's exactly what he did.
Now, are there funny because 2 signatures? So there's already one that's
so this is there. So this is a fake. I guess they gave these out back in the 80s, 90s, right?
Oh, okay.
And so this is fake, but luckily the annoying little 9-year-old Blue Jays fan in front of us, annoying Kirk Gibson for a autograph. We just used his pen, so it worked out. And a guy like that too is what he's going through with Parkinson's and stuff like that. I always feel bad asking for an autograph, but then 6 other people did it before me, so I'm like, hey, if you don't mind, can you sign this? And we got a frame the next day, and yeah, this is hanging up everywhere we go. But cool moment. We got destroyed, but as my buddy Jack said it, and quote, this is the best Tigers blowout game I've ever been to. That was the best way you put it.
Yeah, that is perfect.
So then I went on Saturday. We won. It was a cool game. We got really good seats. And I mean, we stink. Nothing's really changed. You got, more and more guys on the IL. The game yesterday just riddled with defensive mistakes, costing us runs. Can't hit the ball. I mean, I don't know what else to say. The Tigers are, before this weekend, they were only 6.5 back of the wild card. And you kind of sat there like, oh, do I have hope? I no longer have hope. I had maybe there's a 4-second thought in the back of my head, could we do this? And then I just got brought back down to reality right away. So we play again tonight against the Sox. We have some, Drew Hutchinson on the mound, reliever, another bullpen day. Probably not going to go well. So we'll see. If I was a betting man, which I am, I'd take the White Sox. So, but, that leads us into NBA Finals, how they've been going. I predicted the Warriors in 6. I know you predicted the Celtics in 6. I bet on the Celtics last night against my initial prediction, and the Warriors won. So I'm just going to stop betting on the NBA Finals because I really, really want to bet on the Celtics for Game 6, but that would go against everything that I've already said about my prediction. So why would I do that?
Yeah, I would. At this point, there's no reason for you to do that.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just going to stay away from it. But now, there's no stopping Andrew Wiggins. Who would have thought?
What did I say at the beginning? You can't predict what he's going to do. No. It's so he could be really good. He could be just an average player, or he could be he's not even out there.
Right.
It's I don't know. I mean, good for him. Good for him.
I mean, Steph came out and was a Game 3 where he dropped 40. That was on Friday. No, Game 4. Dropped 40, took over the game. Just unreal performance.
On that, I want to get into that for a second, because that night, again, I didn't watch the game. I don't know if you
Who
did.
did?
Okay. I guess that
I was
answers
talking
that.
to Kirk Gibson. I didn't.
Right. Anyways, so it was later that night that I get a notification on Twitter. And I know where I'm going with this.
Mm-hmm.
And I see the original tweet was our buddy Steven, who was on the last episode.
Mm-hmm.
I have it pulled up. He said, I don't ever want to hear that Stephen Curry isn't clutch ever again.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
And then what was the first reply under that?
Which, no issue with that. If you say Curry's not a clutch person, I don't know what you're watching. And the first reply under that was by a Cotter at Cotter _ Brendan.
Must be. I think he's a listener.
Yeah, and he said, well, he tagged me. He said, this is Rexy, basically, to that response. So what I said to you was, I'm very glad to discuss this on the next episode. I wanted to record it yesterday, because they played last night, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, but you couldn't. So we're here today doing this, and nothing's really changed. I said I wanted to discuss this, that you tagged me, because Curry didn't do a damn thing. not in general. He didn't do a damn thing that defied what I said. Was that 2 episodes ago?
I don't know if it made the cut, to be honest.
I think it did. I think it was 2 episodes ago.
Okay.
Where I talked about what we need to see from him, and that's making those shots when his team's down.
Yeah.
In the clutch. See, listen.
Which he did.
Listen. As I just said, Curry is a clutch basketball player. There's no doubt. But I'm going to continue on what I said in that spiel, 2 episodes ago, where in the finals, in the actual clutch of the game, which is not the first, second, or even third quarter, the clutch, I think, is defined as like the last 6 minutes of the game.
I would agree with that.
I think. I mean, you could even
I would agree with that.
You could even say the whole fourth quarter. I'd be fine with that, honestly. But I'm pretty sure it's like regarded as like the last 6 minutes, 5 or 6 minutes of the fourth quarter. Anywho, yeah, Curry, fantastic game, but he didn't make a single shot for the Warriors in the fourth quarter when his team was down. The Warriors took the lead. The entire team, besides Curry, took the lead in the fourth quarter over the Celtics. They came back to take the lead. But Curry didn't make a single shot of those. After they had the lead, then he scored a few points. I think he had 2 shots or something, and then free throws at the end. They were fouling him. Again, I'm not saying the guy's not clutch. I'm just saying we literally have not seen him make like the comeback in the clutch shots when his team is down. It's the exact same thing that I said a couple episodes ago. If his team is up, oh, hell yeah, he's making the shots. Which, that in and of itself, that's still being clutch. Like, you don't, just because your team is up doesn't mean that you can't be clutch. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to just mean that your team's down. But at the end of the day, like, and I'm not the only one who thinks this. I want to see him make those shots when his team's down. And he has in the playoffs, but specifically the finals. I don't know what the stat is now. I remember at one point I don't know if it would have changed, because I'm pretty sure it was the 2019 finals against Toronto that he was like 0 for 8 or 0 for 9 or something on shots to take the lead in the NBA finals in the clutch. I'm pretty sure that's a factual stat that you can find. But regardless, I just wanted to bring that up because somebody felt the need to tag me to
My whole
a
thing
comment
is
about him not being clutch.
I'm not disagreeing with your opinion about the definition of clutch, but when you drop 43 and
Dude,
you come
it
back
was a
from
great
20 down,
performance.
right? And you
And
come
I'm
back from 20 down, I
literally
feel like that's kind of clutch.
he's very clutch. I'm not saying he's not clutch. Literally, my only thing that I'm saying is I want him to make like those game-winning shots, the shots that put his team up at the very end of the game, the shit that's, those shots that are remembered throughout
But that's
time.
the thing with Golden State. Usually they just poop on their opponents.
Exactly what I said a couple episodes ago. I said he's had the luxury of his team being so good that it's just got kind of.
Except Draymond.
Yeah, again, we already brought that up. What the hell, Mike? My guy gets more fouls than points. It's so weird.
Stinks.
Yeah, he's not his old self. I mean, he's always been, getting ejected and getting fouls. But
my favorite comparison, and someone told me this, I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago. And every time I see him shoot, I think of this. Fucking someone said Draymond Green shoots like he's got a backpack on.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
It is every time I watch him shoot a basketball, it's what I envision in the back of my head. And it's hilarious. If you've never heard of that, please go watch a Draymond like shooting compilation on YouTube. And it's exactly
and there's edited things with backpacks on them too, photoshopped on those. That's it. I remember hearing that a while back. But
anyway, as far as the series go, I mean, obviously it's a win or go home situation for the Celtics. They're at home. The reason I'm gonna ratify my bet for betting on Celtics, because I bet on the Warriors on Friday. They won. And I bet on the Celtics yesterday. The reasoning was that this whole postseason, the Celtics have not lost 2 in a row in any of the series. If they've lost a game, they've won the next one. So I was going, by previous statistics, which sometimes just doesn't work, when it comes to betting. But I mean, now they lost 2 in a row. I mean, do you really think they can lose 3 in a row, especially at home? I don't know.
It's wild because they actually did a pretty decent job against Curry yesterday. He had 16 points?
Yeah, he shut him down.
And didn't make a 3-pointer for the first time in like 47 years.
Mm-hmm. Which I think that's a crazier stat.
No, it's
you can hold him to 0 3-pointers. That's crazier than if he hits 15.
It's tough because the Warriors are still such a great team, man. So
they have so much depth. You can't defend everybody, man.
If they win Game 6, it's no surprise at all. It's no surprise. But at the end of the day, like, did you hear what Jason Tatum said?
No. What did he say?
He said, Game 6, he's going Mamba mentality.
Dude, he needs to stop with this kind of stuff too. I understand the whole. I understand he's a big Kobe fan. I have no issue with that. But just do it for yourself. You don't need to post it to the masses in social media. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking specifically about the screenshot of the text. That's
the thing too, is like him being in any mindset of wanting to do anything for Kobe, I have zero issue with that.
Absolutely not.
He's obviously the dude's hero.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you in the sense that, like, dude, you don't need to post about it. Like,
you don't need to put it public.
But at the end of the day, I don't even really care about that. What I care about is the fact that, dude, if you really want to be like Kobe, you want to do Mamba mentality, you need to do some insane shit for Game 6 and potentially if you can get to Game 7.
And let's back up. Where was this mentality games 1 through 5? Why are you waiting till Game 6 to bring out that's what I don't understand.
Yeah.
And like he's been doing, I mean, he had 27 last night. I think he had like 25 or 26 on Friday. It's almost like he's doing enough, but not enough.
Yeah.
And if 27 is not enough, then I mean, that's the guys around you. That's not you.
Well,
and it's the Warriors. I mean, playing both sides of the ball.
The guys around you
is doing good.
The guys around you, yes and no, based on the fact that, you can't. this is so kind of difficult to even describe.
Right.
It's when a guy has to. That's what I said before the series started. Like, he has to be that guy. He has to be that dude that's going to just be the best player in the series. And, against the Warriors, he's, I guess, going to have to do more than I said he was going to. I
Right.
said if he's scoring 23, 24 with how good and that's baseline, with how good the Celtics are as a team, they should be fine. But clearly that hasn't been the case.
Marcus Smart's been non-existent.
If he wants to do this Mamba mentality shit, my guy, first and foremost, you got to go crazy on defense. But secondly, I mean, not even secondly, I guess these are both first and foremost, if that makes sense. You're going to have to be scoring probably like 40 at least the next 2 games.
Yeah, if 27 is not getting you a W, I hate to break it to you, but you got to throw 10 more on top.
And that's what I mean. Like, it can be the other guys not producing enough, but at the same time, like, it's the Warriors. So
yeah,
and
I mean, okay,
there's teams and players throughout history where in the playoffs, I'm sorry, it's going to be expected of you specifically to do some wild games,
right?
Not just 30 points, 40, 50 points. Sorry, it's just how it is, especially against a team like the Warriors.
And like, too, like another thing is like, I went back to, because the biggest thing for the Celtics, they play phenomenal defense, number 1 defense in the NBA coming into the finals, right? Dude, they've kept, and I know this is going to sound wild, but they've kept Golden State under 110 points every single game of the series, and they're down 3-2. So like that brings it right back to your offense. You just got to score more.
Well, go ahead.
You got to outscore them. If they're going to put up, if you're going to hold them to 105, 108, 107, whatever it is, these entire 5 games, and you're only putting up over 110 once, and that was the first game. I mean, you got to score. You got to put the rock in the hoop.
I mean, in retrospect, it's kind of like, it's cool because these teams are such a great face-off for the finals. I mean, the Warriors defense is also fantastic.
Right.
It's just the Warriors as a team have a better offense than the Celtics. So that's what I mean. Like, Tatum, my guy, that your team in general is not going to produce like the Warriors offensively. Defense, it could be really neck and neck, but you're going to have to get 40, man. That's just how it's going to be. But anyways, I still, call me crazy, I still think the Celtics are going to do it.
I hope.
I think they're going to do it.
If they force a game 7, then I think they do. I mean, obviously.
And let me say too that, like, just to kind of finish the topic that I brought up at the beginning, I think that Curry can, I think he can make that shot, or those shots that, multiple that could happen. I don't think he's incapable of doing that. Somebody that I think is definitely a less producer in the playoffs and in that kind of those situations is somebody like James Harden, where I wouldn't bet money that James Harden would make, those shots in those moments. I really think
Andre Iguodala.
I want Iguodala or whatever you said.
The best take. That was the best take I've ever heard in my life. Continue. Yeah. Sorry.
But at the end of the day, dude, he's the greatest shooter of all time. And there's no debate.
No, there's really not.
No debate.
It's like Steph Curry and like Ray Allen. And Ray Allen was that dude. But there's still that
there's a gap. Yeah. And Ray Allen, it's crazy to say because growing up, like Ray Allen, oh my God.
Exactly.
But anyways, yeah, like he can most certainly make those shots. I think one point is the fact that he hasn't had too many opportunities to do that. Again, what we talked about, the Warriors being, one of the greatest dynasties ever. It's kind of hard for them to have to come back. And when they do come back, they usually do it in the third quarter.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if he makes that shot or those shots at any point in the rest of the series, awesome, man.
I mean, if he gets the
about
opportunity,
damn
I
time.
think, like you said, like he's capable of it. If he gets the opportunity, then everybody knows where the ball's going to go. They know it's going to be in his hands, right?
Yeah, it's just,
but it's just it hasn't been there yet.
At the end of the day, I just think like he is incredibly clutch, but based on shots that we haven't seen be made, whether it's his fault or not, I mean, we have seen him miss these shots. Again, he's like 0 for 8 or 0 for 9. He might have one at this point. I don't know, but he's not in that category of MJ, Kobe, LeBron, those shots at the end of the game. He's a better shooter on average than them, but it's a different thing when you're talking about the shot versus shooting in general. It's a different thing. Like,
right.
would you honestly say you have just an average team in the finals, not an average team, like a team like the Mavs, where they're pretty decent, but whatever. So that's your team in the finals, and
right.
you can have one guy to take a game-winning shot. Not the Warriors, where you'd be fine with Clay, Jordan Poole. Obviously, you still want Curry taking that shot, but you'd be fine with other guys. I'm talking a team like the Mavs. You need one guy to take that shot, obviously be Luka. But in this situation, would you rather have Steph Curry on your team to take that shot? Your team's down with 3 seconds left. Would you rather have Steph Curry take that shot? Would you rather have Michael Jordan take that shot?
I'm gonna have to go with C, Andre Iguodala.
Andre Iguodala. See, this is now you're thinking what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm. We're thinking what Max Kellerman was thinking.
But honestly,
still one of the most bizarre takes of all time.
Yeah. But like I know it sounds like hate. And most of it is just the fun of entertainment of just saying,
but I mean, takes. It depends. Is it Michael Jordan like now, like Charlotte Hornets owner Michael Jordan?
Look, man, would you really be willing to bet against Michael Jordan at any point in his life?
I mean, he smoked a few cigars in his day. So, I mean.
Also, dude, have you seen like his fingers?
Dude.
I think it happened not even just that. At the end of his career, I think it was, I don't know if it was his middle finger. Dude, one of his fingers got fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
That thing is nasty now.
Yep. Probably from like Bill Laimbeer just like shoving him into the hoop.
Probably.
Yeah.
Anyways, to finish this up, I know it sounds like hate, but like at the end of the day, this is a sports podcast. We're going to have takes that generate interest. Mm-hmm. Is this just me playing devil's advocate and just saying stupid shit just for the sake of it? No, I truly believe like Curry is not.
Sucks.
I truly believe Curry is not in that super ridiculously top tier elite of the clutch shot takers at the end of the game. Mm-hmm. I don't believe he's with those 3 guys that I brought up earlier. Honestly, I don't think anybody's with those 3. Except for maybe Robert Horry.
I would put Ray Allen in that company.
Yeah.
It's only based off one game. Ray, the most important game of all time.
Oh yeah. No, Ray was the reason, but
Tony Parker.
But I just want to say, like, there's no hate. Like, the dude is a phenom, greatest shooter of all time.
I watched him play in college. It was awesome.
He's phenomenal.
Yeah, he's awesome.
I'm putting it out there, man. It's just I want to see this stuff happen because people just talk about it like it has happened, but it hasn't happened.
It's a good way to put it.
I won't be surprised, if it does happen. We got 2 games left.
You want to get into it? Do you want to get into pain? The Tampa Bay Lightning are in the Stanley Cup Finals for the 3rd year in a row.
Yeah,
how does that make you feel?
I was talking to my girlfriend about this the other day, and I brought up how Tampa came back to beat New York, and so she was like, "Wait, so didn't you say that this is gonna be like their 3rd year in a row?" And I was like, "Yeah, but like honestly, I don't really care who wins the cup this season. And then I thought about it, I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Because I was mostly just thinking like I don't really care about Colorado. I'm pretty
Right.
indifferent on them. But man, Tampa Bay annoyed the shit out of me this year. And not even just the round one against the Maple Leafs. It was like games at the end of the season that we played them twice within like around a month towards the end of the season. Especially that last game, bro. That team is so annoying. They play like modern NBA where they're flopping around these stupid penalties. Oh my god, man, it's really annoying. So I don't like Tampa, and based on that fact, please Colorado, please win the cup. Also,
I think America's behind you,
yeah,
Colorado.
it's also the same thing as like what we said about the Warriors and the Celtics. Like, if you're a basketball fan right now, you should probably be like, and if you're just an average fan, you should probably be rooting for the Celtics, just based on like you really want to see the same team that's been winning keep winning.
Right.
Like, it gets boring to a point. If you're
Right.
legitimately a fan of them, of course you're going to want to see them win. But anywho, I do think Colorado's going to win because Colorado has been the best team these playoffs
by far.
Yeah, by far. They've been dominant as shit.
In comparison, I mean, they've lost only 2 games in the entire playoffs, and it was in one series. The other 2 they swept. And they've also been done with their series for about 5 days. So they definitely have the rest advantage.
Yeah, they have the rest. I also think it comes down to McKinnon. I think McKinnon has been god tier these playoffs.
More. I mean, Kale Maker has been Makar. You know how to pronounce it?
How do you pronounce? I think it's
Makar.
I think it is too.
He's been phenomenal. He's got like what? He's only got 20 points in the playoffs.
Yeah,
being a defenseman too. I mean, he's like the most offensive defenseman other than Mo Seider.
He pisses me off because another guy that the Leafs he'd be perfect for the Leafs. He's so young, he's so great.
Right.
We need those defensemen. But anyways, yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, Colorado's just got the better team. Now, the one thing is Nazem Kadri got hurt against the Oilers, and he might not come back at all the rest of the series. And he's a very good player. He's a former Maple Leaf. If he doesn't come back, that could be it. Because I think the season. I think the series is going 7 games. I will say that because
I think Tampa at least goes 6.
For Tampa's just that team that
they don't go away.
Win or lose this cup, this is it for Tampa. And it's just been their story throughout the playoffs. Like you just said, they won't go away. You think you got them beat? Oh, no.
And it wasn't even like you said earlier, a comeback against the Rangers. It was like they went down 2-0. Yeah, they came back and tied the series. But in reality, they won 4 games in a row pretty easily. They absolutely dominated. They're like, oh, we went down 2-0. Guess we'll just have to win 4 in a row. I mean, it was ridiculous. I mean, the Rangers couldn't do anything. Games 3 through 6.
Yeah, the Rangers really shit the bed. To be honest, me and my dad were talking about this. We were both surprised in general that New York was playing as well as they did. I mean, do they have the best goalie in the league? Arguably. I mean, Vasilevsky for Tampa is probably still
he's
guy just because you got to knock him off the throne. But man, Shesterkin, dude, the numbers he's been putting up this season, like statistically, he has been the best goaltender. And what you have to give in favor to Tampa as a team is their defense overall is phenomenal. I don't really want to take anything away from Vasilevsky, but like clearly their defense is better than New York. So just the fact that it was them up 2-0 at a point, like me and my dad were like, this is weird. Because if I'm putting the Maple Leafs in that situation against New York, I think New York might get a game, honestly. But yeah, man, they just won't go away. So I think, like I said, I think win or lose this cup, this is going to be it for Tampa. I think they'll still be okay next season, but I think we're going to see a pretty big drop off. But it's going to be really tough to
I
put them
mean, really,
down.
when I was kind of going through and doing like my little research, the only advantage on paper that I see is for Tampa Bay is their goalie. Vasilevsky is unbelievable. He's arguably one of the best postseason goalies of all time, and he's still so young. I mean, his postseason stats are stupid. I have to share them with you because they're stupid. And you've probably seen them, but it's just since 2020 in games following a playoff loss, it's 15-0 with a 948 save percentage and 5 shutouts. So I'll give you that one. And then maybe even crazier, we were talking about, me and Zach were talking about clutch a lot earlier, right? Let me define clutch to you right now when it comes to an NHL goaltender. The last 8 series clinching games, all wins, he's giving up 2 goals total.
Yeah,
in 8
unbelievable.
Games. Two on 221 shots. 2. I mean, he's like, if you get to a game 7, you win. Like that's exactly how he's been playing the past 2 years. Like you get to a game 6 or 7 and you're up in the series, over. He's just gonna be a cement block in between the pipes.
I mean, at the end of the day, we're really seeing one of the greatest goalies of all time.
100%.
It's not even just this era. There's no argument. He's one of the greatest of all time. It's, again, I just wanting them to lose. It's tough, and it's hard to dislike him too. You can't really dislike him. He's phenomenal to watch.
Yeah.
But the thing about Tampa in general is they're so, how could you describe them? Like pliable. They're like, they can do anything. They can mold to anything.
Right.
That's even what pliable means. Like movable. I'm stupid.
You can say pliable.
No, but literally pliable.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, dude, they can be good at anything, and they can transform their team in the middle of not just a series, but the middle of a game. Their play style, they can. It's like, again, I of course I'll keep comparing them to the Maple Leafs, but like, do they have an offense that's as good as the Maple Leafs? No, but when you add in their goaltending, when you add in their defense, it's enough that their offense can do shit that is still really hard to handle. They're just everything. They can do everything. Their offense balances out their defense. Their defense balances out their offense. It's crazy. So it's, again, I think it would be the only reason, I think, not the only reason. If Colorado loses the series, it's not going to be a surprise because of what I just said, where Tampa can basically do anything. But at the end of the day, Colorado's offense is so insane. Their defense is also really, really good.
They're so deep. They're so deep as a team.
Yeah. Well, so is Tampa. But the goaltending is like the one thing. And then plus, if they don't have Nazem, if they don't have him, that really sucks.
Huge. Yeah. My final prediction, I'm going to go with Avs in 6, because I can't do 7, because I just told you, if it goes 7, the Lightning you have Vasilevsky in the net. You're going to win the game. So I'm going to go with Avs in 6. I think it's going to be back and forth. I think the Avs are a little bit deeper. I think they play as a team very, very well. They're a little bit younger, which is, obviously Tampa's full of vets, but at the same time, I think they're just going to outscore them. And once you get to Vasilevsky, if you put one or two in the net with how good your defense is, I mean, you can win a game 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, whatever it is. You just got to score on the greatest goalie that we've seen in 10 plus years. So I'm going to take the Avs in 6. They've just been playing like the best team in the NHL these postseason, but also the entire regular season. So I kind of ride that, but majority of it, I do not want to see Tampa win 3 in a row. That would hurt me.
Yeah. It's really hard to go against him in game 7, like you said. I mean, you backed it up statistically. He's a monster. But at the end of the day, that doesn't mean that he's going to be off of his game if it goes to a game 7. It just means that the rest of Tampa, their team, isn't going to play as well as Colorado's team. I think I'm gonna give us a score. I want to say that the series in general is going to be a low scoring series. I think this is going to be an adrenaline rush of a series, not in the aspect of like crazy scoring, like not some shit like Calgary and Edmonton where it's just goal after goal after goal. I think the defenses here are going to go insane. It's going to be a lot of crazy almost goals too, but we're going to see a lot of awesome saves on both sides. But at the end of the day, and I don't think it's going to be, I don't want to call it like a bad game. It would be more goals allowed than he usually does. But I think Colorado's going to win game 7 4-2. I think 4-2 is what we're going to see, and they're going to hoist the cup. I don't know why.
Vasilevsky giving up 4 goals.
That's what I mean. Like, 7? I don't want to say he'll play bad.
Or 3 in an empty netter, realistically. Possibly
that. Yeah, that's possible too.
I mean, he's not invincible.
Oh, he's not. It seems like in game 7s, but at the end of the day, I think Tampa's just getting put down this season, but they're gonna go out swinging and swinging and swinging.
I wouldn't be surprised if Colorado comes out 3-0 in game 7.
If Colorado sweeps them, I'll be surprised. But
I'm saying like Colorado goes up 3-0.
Oh, and then it goes,
and then Tampa Bay wins the next 3.
That's the team Tampa is. They just come back. But at the end of the day, they're just would I have said they're the best team this postseason? I might have had them at 4, man. At the beginning of the postseason, I might have had them at the 4th best team, maybe 3, just because you can't be set on Florida in the postseason.
Let me ask, was Toronto in your top 3?
Toronto was my team. I just thought they were the best team. I thought it was going to happen. I mean, literally the division they play in, I thought they were. Their offense was. They're the anti-Tigers.
Yeah,
where the Tigers have the worst offense ever. Dude, the Maple Leafs offense was so fucking crazy this season. But that defense.
I'm a Red Wings fan. I haven't seen the playoffs in a minute, so I'm over here chilling, watching hockey.
But yeah, so we both got the Avs. He's got 6, I got 7. Regardless,
go Avs.
Let's hope they win, man. Put Tampa down.
Game 6 for the NBA Thursday, making us wait a whole week.
Is it not till Thursday?
Yes. So dumb. They need 6 days to rest in between. It's like, all right, I'm going to take my kids to a water park. We're going to go to Cedar Point for a weekend, and then we'll come back from game 6.
Well, maybe Tatum needs those days to actually figure out what the fuck Mamba mentality is.
Suit Deuce up, man. Put him in the lineup. Can only help.
All right. I think that'll do it for today.
Yeah.
A
Yeah,
lot of
nothing too crazy in the sports world. Tigers stink. Got the NHL playoffs coming up, which I've always said this, I think is more exciting to watch than the NBA finals. So I'm actually going to watch, I would assume, a couple games. And then game 6 Thursday, hoping for game 7. That would be phenomenal because I'd watch it. I think the entertainment would be nice. But, you know, Warriors win in 6, they win Thursday. Just know I told you so.
I wouldn't
Yep.
be surprised. It's the Warriors, man.
It's the Warriors. Steph Curry's got the clutch gene.
Fucking Warriors, fucking Lightning.
Yeah. Can we switch it up?
Yeah.
Can we get the Tigers in there? The Lions?
Yeah, can we get the
The
Lions in
Pistons,
the
maybe?
put the Lions in the NHL playoffs? They'll probably play better than on the football field.
I want to see Penny Sewell on a pair of skates.
Oh my god.
That's for sure. All right. Well, we'll catch you next week. Remember to follow us, Twitter, Instagram, at Motor City Chirps. Like the video, subscribe to the YouTubes. And next time you hear from us, yeah, I'm pointing at you. Tigers would have won 7 in a row. Remember this.
Wait, what?
I'm joking.
Oh, okay.
I'm telling them that.
I was about to say,
We're recording next week. That
what are we not recording for a few years till they're good?
yeah.
Oh,
But we'll make them think that like they won 9 in a row, but really they lost 9 in a row.
I'm sure nobody's fucking watching them anymore, so they wouldn't know the difference.
True. Good point. They just watch them on Sports Center every morning.
And the last thing I want to say, when we were in Canada a few weekends ago, me and my girlfriend, we walk into, it's like their version of like a Rite Aid.
Mm-hmm.
And we go to cash out, and the guy says, "Oh, you're a Tigers fan?" Because I'm wearing this hat. And he goes, "Oh, you're a Tigers fan? I'm sorry." And because clearly he's a Blue Jays fan.
Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah. It just sucks, man. Like I wish that my family was just like, we're the Maple Leaf fans, but I wish that like we were also Blue Jays fans.
You would have went through some similar pain with the Blue
True.
Jays, but just when you were younger, so it wouldn't have mattered as much. But if you were a Blue Jays fan in this era, like right now, we were sitting. There's a Toronto family from Toronto sitting behind us, and I was talking to the dad. Me and Jack were talking to the dad, and I turned around and I said, all jokes aside, because we were messing back and forth. I go, how fun is it to root for this team? He goes, dude, it's so cool. I mean, everybody on the team is fun to watch. And I was like, see that guy over there at shortstop? We gave him $250 million. Pretty good, huh?
I mean, at the end of the day, we did get to see great Tigers teams. We did.
Yes.
We
Yes.
did. A team that was missing a bullpen,
but I
man,
always
that
have
team
to
was
bring
great.
this up. I always have to bring this up. The 2 World Series that we've been to in my lifetime, we've won 1 game, so doesn't cut it for me.
That's true.
We played 8 games since we've been alive, and we've won 1.
Someday on this show, we will be celebratory. We will.
Motor City Chirps 2029. We're gonna have all 4 of our teams in the finals. Book it.
We'll be happy. Well, we won't be talking so much.
They're gonna be like, fuck these guys. Like they have the greatest dynasties in all of sports, and we're just like, we're sitting here now. We're like, just gotta rebuild. Another 4 years.
Another 10 years. That just gave me an idea, which I will talk to Brendan about right now after we stop this recording. Goodbye.
Goodbye.